Hey everybody, so in this video I want to talk about a way that you can add a little bit more depth and interest into your guitar solos and not kind of get stuck in a rut. Just do some different things that you can stick in. You might have to sometimes plan these things out, but that's okay. Let's kind of start at the beginning. So most people, if not everybody, when they learn to play lead guitar, inevitably will come across this scale. I mean, if you don't, then something weird is going on. But yeah, the good old natural, sorry, not the natural minor, but the minor pentatonic. But you go from that to the natural minor. You know, all the notes of the natural minor fall within that shape. But eventually you go from learning the actual scale to being able to go up and down within it, like you add that little bit of blues in there. You know, you've been there, you've probably done that. But when I say add a little bit more depth to your lead playing, I mean adding a few different intervals and moving them up and down. Intervals that you might not think about using normally. However, you can plan these things out, and that's okay. Eventually you'll be able to use them within your improvised playing, and that's kind of where we want to end up. So the first interval that I want to look at will be the sixth interval. Sounds like this. Okay, and played together. Now, when I say using these intervals it gives texture to your playing, that's because it adds sort of a thickness, or maybe a bit of a droning sound that you don't normally get within lead playing, but that's because you're mixing lower notes with higher notes. And yeah, you can move these up and down. There's two positions for the sixth interval. And there is one here where you, it's based on a minor chord. You have your third finger 2 frets higher than than your first finger. Your third finger is on the A string and your first finger is on the G string, okay? Your third finger is always 2 frets higher. The next position is one where you have your second and first finger on the strings. Your second finger is 1 fret higher than the first, second finger on the A string, first finger on the G, okay? So this will outline a major chord, for example. Again, we're not really using the root notes of these chords, and that's kind of what gives it slightly more of a cool sound, okay? So usually these patterns travel down in twos, or you'll go from one to the other, but we'll start off with this one here, which is stuck on its own, okay? Then you have the other position, which is the second finger 1 fret above the first. That'll travel down in twos, then back to the other one, and then the other one, which you can go up here for, then back to this one on its own. So you can get some really nice sounds. It's kind of funny when you outline the chord there and then play the root note. Doesn't always sound that like correct, does it? But that's kind of what makes it more interesting. So let's move to the next interval. So the next interval I want to talk about is an octave third, okay? That's probably the easiest way to put it, to spell it out. The first one that we're going to play here will be, basically, it's a third like this. That's the basic way of playing it. But this third here, from this note, will be playing an octave higher, so it'll end up here. So it'll be 12th fret on the A and then 13th fret on the B. Okay? And that is the basic, octave third. But this is the minor version. So whenever you have a minor version, it'll be like that. It'll have 1 fret difference basically. So the high note will be 1 fret higher than the low note. Physically, and then you can move this down 2 frets. Okay, so you have another one here, which is the 10th fret on the A and 11th fret on the B. And again, we're following the natural minor scale here in D minor. And then the next one, we have a major interval. Well, this one will be on its own. So we're going to have the 8th fret on the A and then the 10th fret on the B. So whenever we have a major interval for this, we'll have the little finger here, 2 frets are above the first finger, but on the B, and the first finger will be on the A. Okay, so altogether we have. You can use your first and third finger for the smaller interval ones, for the minor interval ones, but you can also just use your little finger for them all, just so it make it easier to slide between them. And then now we'll go to 2 more minor interval ones. And then after that, 2 major interval ones. Okay? And that's kind of the way it'll go up. You can actually end up just messing around with it until it sounds right. You don't always have to pick out all the notes. For example, if I was to do this, I know that doesn't sound right, okay? So then we would change it. Now it sounds better, okay? So you'll pick out, whether it's going to be a minor or major interval. You can just listen to it, and then you'll eventually figure out the pattern that'll work. So this one here is the major interval that's stuck on its own. And the rest of them travel in 2s. So you have 2 here, 1, 2. So 2 major intervals, then 2 minor intervals. And 1 major interval. And then 2 more minor intervals. Okay? And then 2 more major intervals. 2 minor ones. 1 major one. Okay, so again, you mix these in with your playing, Have a little go at that and see what you can come up with. So, I'm just hoping that this will add a few more ideas. Again, just try to put a little bit more depth into your lead playing, so it's not all single note, high string stuff. You can mix a few notes together. So eventually it'll be kind of nice to mix in your scale shapes with these ideas. Okay, so I'll see you next time.